Let's execute an immediate high-gear tactical vector shift away from the epic skies of Dragon Kingdoms and step directly onto the intensely emotional, calculation-heavy tracking grids of small-town suspense, cold case trauma profiling, and second-chance romantic tension. We are crossing the threshold into the misty, dense coastal forests of Cedar Ridge, with Whispers of You, the exceptional, rapid-pulsing first milestone entry that serves as the blueprint deployment for the chart-topping Lost and Found series by the reigning sovereign of romantic suspense, Catherine Cowles. This standalone deployment delivers a thrilling look at a desperate operational crossroads where buried family secrets, severe childhood stalking anomalies, and protective law enforcement dynamics collide at terminal velocity. Let's lay out the strategic narrative grid. If you are a fan of high-frequency, small-town psychological thrillers, where a resilient, hyper-focused female protagonist must navigate an absolute maze of deep-seated town gossip, unresolved emotional fractures, and a creeping, anonymous external threat, while running a defensive survival loop inside her childhood sanctuary, where an analytical mind uses sharp threat assessment, environmental tracking, and profound emotional stamina to heal from a near-fatal abduction attempt, and where the author utilizes an incandescent, the predator has returned to finish the job diagnostic routine to test our hero's structural survival perimeters. This book is engineered to lock you in. Cowles completely dominates the small-town noir dynamic, capturing the heart-racing romantic momentum, suffocating claustrophobia, and heavy psychological weight popularized by genre vanguards like Devney Perry, Lucy Score, Laura Griffin, and Karen Rose, while treating small-town police diagnostics, survival tracking, and protective family guardrails with absolute technical mastery. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on our central protagonist axis, Aniston Sage. She is the ultimate blueprint of psychological resilience, a young woman operating under a strict, calculation-heavy routine to manage the severe emotional fallout of an event that shattered her youth. Her daily workspace is the quiet, seemingly peaceful landscape of Cedar Ridge, the very town where 10 years prior she was hunted, targeted, and nearly taken by a faceless monster before barely managing to escape with her life. Her internal defense mechanisms are locked down tight behind a layer of absolute vigilance, her entire analytical focus strictly consumed by monitoring her surroundings, tracking local threat variables, and shielding her fragile sense of security from being compromised again. The spark ignites when her active scanning perimeter registers a devastating structural anomaly. Holt Hartley, the boy who was her entire world, the fierce protector who broke into pieces when he couldn't shield her from that fateful night, steps back into her operational grid. Holt has spent a decade transforming himself into a hardened, hyper-focused law enforcement asset, his entire lifestyle rebuilt around tactical defense and investigation mechanics. The official diagnostic metrics of Cedar Ridge indicate a total systemic escalation. Just as these two fractured souls begin running a highly volatile emotional reconnection loop, a series of chilling, hyper-specific local incidents reveals that the shadow from their past has reactivated its tracking feed. The original executor is back, and Aniston's defensive perimeter is the ultimate target. The tactical parameters instantly explode as Holt goes completely offensive, shifting his entire security unit into a full-time protective detail around Aniston. Our veteran law enforcement lead transforms into a fiercely realistic, entirely pragmatic shield, deploying his massive forensic profiling tradecraft, close-quarters defensive knowledge, and deep counter-surveillance tracking to isolate the stalker's coordinates. When deceptive local alignments, false leads, and calculation-heavy psychological taunts from the predator launch aggressive measures to breach their buffer, the team's survival instincts engage their final deployment tracks. Every midnight boundary audit around the Hartley property, every silent execution of a perimeter security scan, and every intense moment of parsing encrypted town history chips away at their patience for standard police bureaucracy. What follows is an exceptional, high-stakes war of perspective, tactical positioning, and raw human grit.
We watch the small town's deceptive perimeters completely unwrapped as Cowles reveals that the true threat isn't just an external shadow. It is an obsessive, deeply embedded local monster, executing a total tracking audit of their most vulnerable family bonds. While Aniston and Holt smooth over each other's psychological blind spots with devastating analytical force, a brutal woodland confrontation shifts the clock into its terminal phase, proving that the executor has detected their defensive countermeasures. To survive the impending locked grid trap and outmaneuver the forces running the scheme, our resilient protagonist duo must unleash an absolute, unyielding defense of their sanctuary. It is a small-town romantic suspense, cold case psychological thriller, law enforcement action, high-velocity second-chance drama masterpiece that treats deep localized logistics and intense emotional friction with elite precision.